Hello. It is the Go Birds podcast presented by the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app. Elliot Trout Parks, James Seltzer with you. What up, B? I'm off. I'm on vacation right now, but I'm here because we needed to get the information out to everybody. In case you can't tell, I just woke up. I'm sleepy.
It is the most important practices of the year until the Colts come next week, and then those will be also very important.
Yes.
Joint practices. As much as training camp is my happy time of the year, joint practices are the ultimate high for me. Again, I feel like we say this every year when they do them, but I really do think it's worth repeating for anyone that is new to the pod or maybe forgot. I agree. It sucks that we don't get to watch them and the fans don't get to watch them in preseason games. I think preseason games are still important. There's still snaps that matter for people that are going to make the roster. It's a good look at the depth. There are certainly things about the preseason game that are important and that matter. But of course, it sucks for fans that you're watching, Ian Book and not Jalen Hurts. I get that. But when they're doing the joint practices, yesterday, Hurts took more reps in a practice. I believe it's either the most or the second most reps he's taken in a practice all year. I think he had the most passing attempts as well. They are getting good work in. So while I understand the frustration and look, I'm lucky. I'm blessed in a lot of ways. I get to watch the practices, so maybe that skews my opinion a little. But these practices are really, really good chances to get a look at this team. And I understand why Sirianni uses them the way he does.
Yeah, I'll just put out there that I don't care. I don't.
All right,
personally,
good to know.
Personally don't care. I don't care about preseason. I'm ready for the regular season to start. I don't care about not seeing them in games. As I said before the last one, I don't care if they play in the games. I don't need to see any of the starters play in preseason games. It does nothing for me. We saw last year, we were proven right that it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter. So I don't care. I get people being upset if they, want to go to the game. There are going to be players in it. It is what it is. It sucks, but it's just where we're at. I've completely and totally accepted it. Don't care. Ready for the season. That's where I'm at. My official statement.
Well done. Should we talk about practice
on the preseason games? Yeah. And the joint practices are cool, and I'm excited to talk about them stuff. I'm just saying, to your point about not getting to see the players, I'm fine with it. Personally, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. No, I agree, and it's probably just going that way. I think sooner or later we will probably see these joint practices televised at some point,
which is what they should do.
Well, what'll happen then is teams will stop using them as effectively. They won't run things for other people to see. They won't do things like that. So, but yeah, pretty soon people you're already seeing it with there only being 3 preseason games. So there are the revolt on the preseason has officially begun. And I think that these joint practices, the more teams that do them, the more teams, the Eagles have 3 this year, but it seems, I would guess every year from here on out, they'll do them against 2 different teams in practice. So I think that, sooner or later we will see them televised or more fans have access to them.
Yeah, well, look, and these are the reason that the preseason don't matter. Because of these practices, you will not see any starters in these preseason games all preseason. Agreed. So it's they don't matter. They matter for the guys making the roster, but as a fan, watching the we haven't talked since it. I don't have anything to say. I have no takeaways. I don't it's just not obviously Sidney Brown made some plays, and I wish Nakobe had played. We talked about he didn't. There are things like that, but and some with who started and who didn't. You get a feel for who's more locked in than you thought. Kenny Gainwell not playing. That was interesting. We talked about going in, but on the whole, outside of the actual watching of preseason, it's just not what it was, and who cares? That's my real philosophy on it.
Well, we do have the joint practices to talk
Thank goodness.
That's
all right.
I'm ready you need.
Yes,
this is there with the pen and the pad.
This is a big Elliot's going to talk, and I'm going to lean back day. I'm on vacation. I'm checked out. Elliot was there, locked in. Just tell us what happened, buddy. Lay it down.
I think there are a few major takeaways. And I'll start with one, or I'll just get it out of the way initially. I thought the Browns won the day. I think the Browns won the day. Their defense beat the Eagles' offense. From what I saw and from talking to the reporters, I think the Eagles' defensive had some good plays against the Browns, but receivers were open in the secondary. And then I thought the biggest drill of the day, last year against Cleveland and against also Miami, at least the one day they had it, they were at the end of practice, really intense 11-on-11 full field, every player on the team watching, this is the time to shine. And neither team did well in that instance, really. So to me, the Browns won the day for a reason that I did not expect, but this is just frankly how I felt watching it. I think the Browns came in and just like played harder than the Eagles. I think they came in and they were more energetic. They were celebrating more. Their sideline looked more worked up. I don't think the Eagles looked like disinterested. That's not fair to say. Like they were out there, they were practicing, and I think they were trying. But last year in Cleveland and also Miami, and really the year before against the Jets, and then the Jets the year before when they went up to New York or New Jersey and played them. One of my main takeaways from all those practices was the Eagles are just the more like energetic, they the camaraderie, the celebrations, they just went into those places. Like they went into New York and just gave it to the Jets. They went into Cleveland last year, gave it to Cleveland. Miami obviously only one day and they lost, but I still thought
they lost.
They did, but they had energy. Like I just didn't sense energy yesterday. To me, it felt like the Browns came in with the mindset of like, we're going into Philadelphia to play the defending NFC champions, the team that many thought was best in the NFL. And like they brought it to them and they kind of like just gave it to them. And I don't think the Eagles really had a counterpunch. So that was like a holistic main takeaway on something I was very surprised at. Like I don't think it's a red flag or anything like that. But at the same time, if one of the concerns for the year is going to be, how is this team going to respond to the Super Bowl? How is this team going to deal with having their bullseye on their back? Like the first mini test, like it was surprising to me because I've always seen Sirianni's teams play with way more kind of passion and be the more aggressive team on the field. And I just didn't get that vibe watching them yesterday.
It's probably hard to get up for a joint practice and training camp when you just played in the Super Bowl. Is like honestly probably what it is.
But like the Browns got up.
Browns haven't made the playoffs in years. Like, what are you talking about? My point is, but I do think that's part of it. And whether that's right or wrong, and whether that becomes an issue, it's probably wrong. Like, it's probably better if they are not, what if they take it a more aggressive and all that. But like, you just played in the Super Bowl. Like, it's probably hard to get like super up to face the Browns in a joint practice that doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. Like, and I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying I can understand how last year you're more fired up for this, and now you're seeing the exact same team you saw in the joint practice last year. Like, you're like, you just played in the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know. I understand how it's hard to get up for that. I'm not saying it's okay, and I think it'll be interesting to see how they respond today. But like, I'm not surprised by it. It's a joint practice.
I think like what happened on day one is not going to change my prediction for the season, right? Like I actually think the biggest like main takeaway from the practice is a positive, which we'll get into in a second. But like, I was just like, you're right. I could see how it's hard to get up for that, but that's a concern to me still. Like you were right. I could see coming off a Super Bowl. It's the Browns. Like, you beat them last year when you played them in Cleveland. Like I get it. But that's exactly what I think leads to like, well, it's week 4 versus Washington, like those type of things where it's
a joint practice versus real games that matter. I like, you know what I mean? Like,
but not you, but like Sirianni and Hurts can't preach every day at the podium. Rents do every day. You have to attack today. We're focused on winning today. We're focused on attacking our sleep, like all those things. And then now they're not saying it, but I'm saying like we then can't sit here and go, well, like whatever, it's hard to get up. So I agree with you. It's not like a big red flag thing, but it was just surprising because I'm used to seeing this team be the one that smacks the other team in the mouth. And I don't think the Browns smacked them in the mouth yesterday, but the Eagles did not come out and like do what the Eagles do against them.
Yeah. Again, I'm not surprised by that. You would, to your point, you want to see them come out stronger, but it just doesn't shock me. Like I can understand how, where they've been and where they want to go. The joint practices feel small. Like I get it, but to your point, they should find a way to, and that's why I think today's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Sirianni felt about yesterday's practice. If he felt they were disengaged, if it was, if there's an explanation for it, or if that's the kind of thing that he's going to come out and get on him for. Cause look, I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying I'm not surprised by it. I just that jives with me. That I think that after you played in the Super Bowl and you come back and do these training camps, like a joint practice, you're just not going to get as hype for it. You should be into it and you should get the most out of the practice that you can, but it can't feel like that big a deal. Like it just can't,
Yeah. I mean, I think we actually mostly agree on this. I don't know, man. Like I can't get, and I'm not saying you're excusing it because you're right. Like you're saying it's not what you want to see. but I just can't get down overall with like well, it's just a joint practice. This is the mental hurdles this team is going to have to face all year in terms of playing games that are not going to feel as big as the Super Bowl and like still attacking those days.
No,
you know what I mean?
And I again, I would rather it went the other way. I'm just saying it's also a joint practice and not a real NFL game that matters.
Sure. For sure. But they did lose. So they dropped now to 6-2. Yeah.
I think that to be fair, I don't think the players are counting wins and losses. I think it's only you and thus the media because of that. But I feel pretty confident the players are not like, damn, we lost today. I feel pretty confident.
I will say Cleveland fans, and I don't know if this extends to the media. Well, I know it extends to the media. And I'll be curious to see the Browns just came in. Look, in my opinion, maybe I'm projecting, but I thought they came in with like revenge on their mind. I really from the second they walked out on the field, they were here, I don't even know this is a great expression.
Don't you think it's more
that they were like ready to go?
Not a great expression for it. It just doesn't make a ton of sense. Hooting and hollering. I mean, it could be hooting and hollering, I guess.
Yeah, coming in and be like, here we are, that type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're coming in to face the team that just almost won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think it all applies to that.
And I don't think Eagles have to.
I don't think it has to do with like last year they beat us in the joint practice. We're gonna beat them in this joint practice. Like I don't think it's that.
I just think the Eagles have to get used to the fact that the bullseye is on their back.
Oh, I agree with that, and I think that's fair. I'm not reading too much into it from that perspective. I agree with you. They should have come out harder and played tougher. But other than that, I'm not too concerned.
Yeah. So, but outside of that, so I did think the main issue on the offense, and I don't think this is a concern. Like the coming out kind of flat thing, not a huge concern off the bat, but it's a problem I could see perhaps turning into a bigger issue and something we're discussing in the air. I thought the reason they lost on the field is not something I'm super concerned about. Their offensive line just got dominated. And I just refuse to believe that a Jeff Stoutland offensive line is going to be an issue during the regular season. I think if they were playing the Browns in a regular season game, that they would game plan to stop Myles Garrett. In this instance, they're not game planning to stop Myles Garrett. They're allowing him to just go one-on-one against Jordan Mailata. And any offensive tackle in the league is going to struggle against Jordan Mailata.
You mean against Myles Garrett?
Yeah, against Myles Garrett. I will take one little quick side note and say I'm interested to see how Mailata plays this year. He had a good year last year, and Richie brought this up a lot too. I didn't think he had the all-pro.
Richie brought it up all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll just be curious to see how his year is. The fact he struggled against Myles Garrett is not concerning to me, but just quick little side note, to kind of pay attention to. On how he plays this year. I didn't think it didn't look to me like Cam Jurgens was the problem or Lane was the problem, or it just felt like they just got pressure on him. So I had Hurts with 27 dropbacks and I had him with sacked at least 7 times, if not more. There were probably 2 or 3 I could have added. Now, I will say in training camp, they can't actually sack him. So who knows? In a game, maybe Hurts escapes, but there were at least 7 times where it was very clear that the whole team felt he was sacked. And then there were times where he kept running, but I didn't think those counted. So overall, I think that was the main problem. I'll give the Browns cornerback some credit. They made some really nice plays. I see we have a commenter in here, Sean. What up, Sean? Asking about Hurts interception. So I had Hurts yesterday at 15 of 20, no touchdowns, 1 interception. The interception I thought was actually a good play or a good throw by Hurts. You could argue it was maybe a little underthrown, but it was basically a 50-50 ball for Devontae, and the Browns cornerback just came down with it. If they reviewed it in a game, it wouldn't shock me if maybe it showed that the ball, he didn't have complete full control, because it did look like they were both tussling for it at the end of the play. But everyone, the Eagles and the Browns, treated it as an interception. And I'm okay with Jalen making those throws. I'm okay with him giving Devontae a chance to make 50-50 balls. I'm okay with him giving AJ a chance, Goddard. That's what you're going to do when you have those elite talent and those type of players. But the other result of that is you're going to lose some of those 50-50 balls. And that's kind of what happened on the interception. So I didn't think it was a poor decision. Again, a few of the reporters said they thought it was underthrown. I'll take their word for it. I probably wouldn't have thought it watching live. Maybe on a replay, it was a little underthrown. But yeah, that was his interception. There was another play And this is so shout out to Corey in Columbus. He's my guy. You know, I love him. But this always happens where I tweet out the stats and then people go, well, this reporter said there was a touchdown or blah, blah, blah. Guys, I only do 7 on 7 and 11 on 11. Like, I don't know what else to say. So there was a play yesterday in 11 on 11 where Hurts dropped back and he, in my opinion, he was probably sacked on the play, in my opinion. But I counted it as a completion. He goes, he hits Devontae. It was a good throw about 30 yards down the field. Devontae catches at the 10 with like not four, that's an exaggeration. Probably 2 defenders around him. And like they touched him. In my opinion, the play was over. Some reporters, or one reporter, my guy, shout out to him, John Clark, thought it was a touchdown. No one else really did. So I didn't count it as a touchdown, but that was probably their best play of the game, of the day. I went back and I looked on day one of camp, on day one versus the Browns last year, Hurts didn't have any touchdowns. And on day 2, he had 6 because they did red zone. So my guess is today we'll see presumably more red zone. And as a result, you would hope more touchdowns from Hurts. But yeah, so I thought Hurts himself didn't really like make bad decisions. And the offense didn't struggle because of him. In my opinion, the offense struggled because of the offensive line. At the end of the day, you don't want to see no touchdowns, 1 interception, but I didn't think Hurts had like a particularly bad day.
Yeah, I could see no touchdowns and 6 interceptions, and that's the one guy I'm not going to worry about in these situations, as we've talked about, and it's been proven. There's no worrying about Jalen Hurts in training camp or whatever. We're good with that.
He is throwing less touchdowns than last year. It's not like a concern yet, but
all caps, full stop, don't care.
I know. I'm just saying.
We did this last year. You can't do this. You can't do this. We did this last year. You can't, not with the touchdowns. With the touchdowns, you can't do it. You wanted to get 30 and get to it last year. You're going to set another number for him not to get to, and then he comes even better. You can't do it.
I'm just saying
we're not complaining about the number of touchdowns. We're just not doing
it. I'm just letting he is not throwing as many touchdowns as he was last year.
Don't care.
Putting it out.
Full stop. It doesn't matter because you had a number for him last year. For those who are new last year, Elliot had a number for him last year.
And he came 3 short of it, to be fair.
Get to the number, and the whole time I was like, the number doesn't matter. This is stupid. Stop talking about the number. Stop talking about the number. And he ended up almost winning the MVP. So we're not going to care about the number of touchdowns. It's all situational. It's all judging. Now, the only thing that I took away from that, I only took one thing away. Everything else was like noise. No other stats matter. Stop keeping stats, people. Like it enough. I love you, John Craig. You are awesome. Johnny Sunshine, the man. Your stats don't matter. They are irrelevant. Elliot's stats are the only stats that matter.
Pro Football Reference would
enough. Yes. Well, once the season starts, things change. Once the season starts, I will give Pro Football Reference all the stats in the world. It's all them. It's NFL GSIS. You're in. Elliot in the spring training or the training camp.
Yes,
it's just what it is.
Well, I also tracked Deshaun Watson, so a lot of Browns fans were my mentions.
Don't care about that either.
Yeah, well, I think Deshaun Watson's a good look at how he did against the Eagles defense. But so a lot of Browns fans were my mentions before practice, being like, the stats don't matter. Who cares about win losses? Blah blah. And then I said the Browns won, and now they're like, oh, okay, blah blah blah. So I thought that was funny, but. So I would say that on the Eagles offensive side of the ball was probably the main takeaway. It was a little interesting to me and noteworthy that Josh Sills came in when Landon Dickerson went out. At first it was Sua Opeta, but he played so poorly. They took him out and put in Josh Sills. I think Josh Sills is maybe going to make this team straight up on the 53. They liked him a lot last year. As we know, clearly there was, there was an incident with him, but he is back on the team. And they put him in with the first team. And I thought that was really noteworthy. So and then Kelsey missed some reps as well. With Landon Dickerson going out, I don't think it's a major concern. It wouldn't surprise me if he didn't practice today, just because, maybe they want to be precautionary. But I think there's a good chance he's out there as well. So they didn't suffer any major injuries yesterday at all.
Which is, we should have led with that. That is the number one thing I care about. That is my only thing that I care the most about. All right, what else?
So on the defensive side of the ball, so how they do these practices is it's split field. The offense is on one field, the defense is on the other. So I stand up in the rafters, kind of in the middle, and try to keep an eye on both. I focus more on the offense because obviously that's the side of the ball that matters more, but I'm also looking at the defense. So there is a chance that I missed, 2 or 3 plays on the defensive side of the ball. But overall, I had Deshaun Watson 10 touchdowns, 10 completions, 17 attempts, no touchdowns, 1 interception. So similar day to Hurts. I thought that he missed open targets, whereas I didn't think Jalen Hurts did. I didn't think that like there were guys that were open for Jalen that he just flat out missed. Frankly, a lot of Jalen's incompletions were like really good plays by the Browns defenders or drops. Like Goddard dropped the ball. One of the Browns defenders batted the ball away. So, that was a difference. I thought Deshaun Watson just missed guys. But the concerning part of that from the defensive side is I thought there were guys open. To me, it looked like when I looked over at the defense that the guys were more open than they were for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense. I'll also say Deshaun Watson, like I don't think the Browns are going to be good this year, and I'm still out on Deshaun Watson is coming back as a franchise guy. But I do think he looked better than he did last year, just physically. Like you could really see why why his arm is special just with some of these like deep throws he made. Accuracy wasn't great, but he does have a strong arm. On the Eagles defensive side,
one sec before we get to the defense, perfect spot. Download the BetParx and Sportsbook app. It's go time here. The pro football futures market is white hot right now. There's all kinds of things to bet on. Who's going to win it all? Who's going to win the MVP? Who's going to win all these awards? How many yards people are going to throw for, rush for, all that stuff. And then, of course, I keep mentioning, but live in-game baseball betting, no big deal. Just keep winning money. It's like the first time I've ever won consistently in my life gambling. No big deal to me. There's crazy odds. The team goes down 2-0 in the first inning, and then it's like, plus 200. What? It's the first inning. It's great stuff. Take advantage. Elliot, are you betting on going to see a
well, I mean, it is the best player and it is the best athlete of all time tonight playing in Philadelphia. I will probably be placing a parlay just for fun, Union, maybe do a Messi goal so I can
nice. So you can root for it. That's great. Root for Rudy.
Well, I do think fans should cheer him when he walks out, but then afterwards treat him like
I agree with that. That's fair. That's a beautiful thing is you can bet on it. You're going to watch Messi tonight because he's here. Boom. Bet on it. It'll be more fun. It just will. It's all more fun when you got action on it. It's just a fact of the situation. Here's the deal. If you sign up now, great deal for you. New users. If you bet $10, you win $10 on your first bet. You get $125 in bonus bets back. It's a great deal. Winning bets. And you get $125 if you win your first $10 bet in sight. Bonus back. It's a great deal. Of course, all the information is on the website, betparx.com. It must be 21 and present in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Ohio. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
So just like the Messi is here, there are other things that are here, but not as exciting as Messi. There are things you don't want. The heat, the humidity, scorching, sweaty temperatures. It's not as exciting as Messi, but you can get rid of it because the high temperatures, this is bad news. The high temperatures are forcing your AC into overdrive, leading to sky-high energy bills, much like tickets to go see Messi. The solution, new windows from my friends at Window Nation. Save thousands today with no money down, no payments, and pay no interest for 2 years. Plus, get 50% off all style windows. Bows, bays, double hung, any style, you name it, 50% off all of their styles. Protect and increase the value of your home today. How are you going to get in touch with them? And how are you going to tell them we sent you? You're going to call 866-90-NATION or go online to windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION and go online to windownation.com. They always have all types of specials going on, even outside of the no money down, no interest. So make sure you call them. There's a good time to do it, especially before it starts to get colder. I can't believe like how hot it still is outside. It still is like when I open my door, you can just feel the humidity like smack you in the face. So it is a good time to have good windows, and you need good windows from Window Nation.
Damn straight. All right, the defense, my friend.
So the defensive line, I thought had a really good day. I thought Jalen Carter, we'll get to him in a second, had a really good day. Nolan Smith had a really good day. Josh Sweat had a really good day. So in some ways, I thought the Eagles offense and the Browns offense kind of mirrored each other in the issues that they had. I just thought the main difference was the Browns secondary, I think, outplayed the Eagles secondary. But Josh Sweat had a few sacks. Nolan Smith had a play where, there was no one blocking him, but he kind of looped in, it looked like, and went untouched right to Deshaun Watson. Obviously, I would assume would have a sack in that situation. But to me, the main takeaway from the day, and also from the preseason game and really over the last week, is I think we're starting to see the emergence of Jalen Carter as like what the Eagles thought that he could be and what everybody thought that he could be when they drafted him and when he was talked about as being the best player in the draft. Like, he's getting way more first team reps. They're using him in all types of different ways. They're lining him up on the outside. They're lining him up obviously on the inside. He's playing the left interior spot, the right interior spot. Like, they have him doing all types of different things. And look, you can't see this as well in the training camp in training camp because we don't get to watch replays. We're not down there. But I just think, man, like, you watch that preseason game, and so I'm assuming it's happening here as well. The way this guy is able to attack opposing offensive linemen, I think is just so unique for a rookie. Look at Jordan Davis. And I don't mean this as a pile on Jordan Davis thing, but let me just use him as an example. Jordan Davis didn't come to the NFL with a set of pass rushing moves. The plays, and really this year too, where he's been able to get after the quarterback are just because he's so strong and he can just push. Like, that is what it is. Jalen Carter gets sacks because he moves his hands. He's quick with his feet. He has moves. Like, he talked about his sack against the Ravens where he watched tape and he had an idea of what he wanted to do. Like, he is coming to the NFL as like a borderline already professional pass rusher. And I think that you're starting to see that more and more. In retrospect, like, maybe the Eagles started him with the third team to show he has to work his way up and to, like, you hear about the practice habits at Georgia. But whatever it is, I think they're managing him well. Watching him after practice, like, I think he's starting to show a little more his personality. I see him like laughing more, joking around with his teammates, talking, doing all those things. He was kind of quiet for the first like little bit of time we had to see him and interact with him. So I think Jalen Carter is starting to become a thing. And so while they lost the day because of the offensive line and like there's little things you can point to, I don't think the offensive line is going to struggle all year. The Jalen Carter thing to me is a first kind of look at like, maybe this is a player that's going to have an impact all year. And so I think it's been the Eagles, I'm sure, are very encouraged by it. I think fans should be very excited about it.
Yeah, defensive rookie of the year winner, Jalen Carter. Lock it in.
That's what he wants. That's what he said he wanted.
I tweeted it during the game. I tweeted it's one of my few tweets during the preseason game.
I wonder if he'll be able to get enough sacks, but I do think like in this,
I think he's going to be a record, dude.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a game record from the jump. I think he was the best player in the draft. I said it at the time when they took him. I think he's elite. I think he's elite talent. And I think with all these players around him, like, man, I like me, I'll get annoyed when like people keep tweeting the same versions of the same thing. Like, I said, all right, enough with the Nick Castellanos. We get it. Like someone's like, oh yeah, like whenever something bad happens, like, oh, home run tonight. Like, we get it. Like, hilarious. Like, great joke. Like, I get it. People can keep tweeting that can't believe the NFL let the Eagles get this man in the first round, or let this guy fall 9. Like, tweet it as much as you want because it's so true. It's absurd that the Philadelphia Eagles we saw last year, like, it really is. It is, not to mention Nolan Smith, but like the idea that they got this guy, this blue chip elite talent of Jalen Carter, and they were the team we saw last year in the Super Bowl. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, and like, I just think as exciting as like there are to be about different Georgia players, and we've done the thing where we rank like who are you most optimistic about and all those things. And I'm still extremely high on Nolan Smith, but like, I just keep thinking back to looking at the pre-draft scouting reports and so many of them that just being like, yeah, I don't know what the weakness is with Jalen. Like,
yeah, he's the one. Like, I love all four of them. Like, this guy has a chance to be one of the great defensive linemen we've seen in this city. Like, he is like, again, his ceiling is Hall of Famer, like, flat out. Like, his ceiling is Aaron freaking Donald. You know what I mean? Like, this dude's awesome. He's got a real high ceiling.
Yeah, so that was definitely very encouraging. Obviously, he has to do it in the regular season. It's just training camp, all those caveats. But I do think he is like really starting to show why why he was a top 10 pick. And we'll see what he does today, day 2. But yeah, it was very encouraging.
Love it. What else?
I'm trying to think. So the Eagles offensive line, Jalen Carter, the defensive line overall. Yeah. I feel like that might be all of it. Like, it was a shorter practice than I expected. They were good reps, but it was only an hour and 20 minutes. They didn't do as much of the 11-on-11 at the end as I anticipated. We'll see what they do today. I thought there was a chance they would move this practice up because it looks like it's going to maybe rain between 4 and 6. I mean, look, I did this rant on the radio, but it's like just so dumb that they're practicing at 5:00. And Browns fans are mad at me because I said the Browns are a loser organization, which they are. But like,
I mean, they are. How do
they
you
like objectively are.
All right, yeah,
Like,
forget like you could. All right, I can understand like you can't say that practicing at 5:00 makes you a loser organization. Like I get that you can blanch at that, but like everything else, like what
Yeah.
else? What else do you
Well-
have to say for the last 30 years of your organization? Like what are we talking about here? Like,
But here's
like,
where
really?
Browns fans like just didn't know who they were messing with. I went and I looked at every time at what time every team in the league starts their practice, and 75% of the league practices in the morning. Why? Because it makes no sense to practice at night. Why? Like it's hotter at night, number one. If you look today, it's hotter at night. Like, I understand people don't care about this as much as I do. And this isn't like Elliot doesn't want to work at 5. Like, it's not. I just think it's objectively dumb. I actually think the Browns should feel honored that the Eagles are willing to practice with them, with considering how dumb it is that the Browns want to practice late in the day. So, but yeah, so they are going to practice again today at 5:00. And, you know, the Eagles will try to tie this bad boy up at 1-1 and avoid their first. Well, actually, they have a 2-game losing streak because they were 6-0. They lost day 1 to the Dolphins and now day 1 here. So, you know, time to get back on the winning side of the column.
I mean, that's true though, but we do like losses considering they lost last year and you know everything worked out. So we want one.
They went 3-1 last year.
Right, but they went 4-0 the year before, and they were not nearly as good the year before. So we want a loss in there. Now we need to win, right? So they have 2 more practices against the Browns. Is that
one more practice against the Browns, which will be today. Then they're off tomorrow, Wednesday. Play on Thursday. Then I think there's a practice in between that and the Colts practice, but they only practice against the Colts 1 time, not 2.
Okay.
So that's what's up. And then then preseason's over. Like they have the 1 more preseason game, and then we'll see the 53-man cuts. And
I'm sorry, I know it hurts your soul, but I'm so ready to be done with preseason. I can't wait. I can't like this game on Thursday night. Now, granted, full disclosure, I'll be in New York, but visiting my brother and my buddy Ted and all that stuff with Zoe. It's gonna be fun. But so I will miss the preseason game. I'll go back and watch it. But even if I were watching it, like, cannot think of a preseason game I would care less about in years. Like, no one's gonna play. Don't care.
Well, we're on different sides of ledgers with that. Like, I do think.
Do you really care about watching the 4 stringers? Like,
well, but here's where it matters. Like, it matters how the backup.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter, quote unquote, for those who can't see it. Matters. I don't care. Like, just give me a sheet of paper saying who won each battle. You know what I mean? Like, don't care.
Yeah, right. Yes, I agree. It's not the most visually, I guess, pleasing thing to watch. But if the Eagles are playing a football game and I get to tweet about it,
I know. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm happy you're happy. All right. Any other takeaways from joint practice or the last couple of days?
No, that's it. I think we're
Love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Final thoughts, my friend, because I do have one. I
don't have any because my thoughts are all football right now.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm going to get serious for a second here because I'm going to do something you did a little while back that I applauded you for. And I thought it was really the correct thing to say that when the whole Ocean Gate thing happened, you came on here and you're like, guys, like, and this was in the moment when we're like, are they alive or dead? We didn't know. You're like, not funny.
Oh yeah, the jokes. Okay,
not hilarious to just joke about people dying. Like, I know they're billionaires, but like not funny, right? And I thought it was a great point by you, and I really appreciate it because it had gotten out of control. I'm seeing another one of these right now, and it's not people dying, but like it's not funny, like at all. Like, so do you know about this whole Wander Franco thing, the baseball player?
So when I first saw it, I think this is the player who it appears to be dating an underage girl, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah. So I couldn't tell if it was real at first, but then I guess yesterday he got suspended. So
yeah. So he got put on the. So I don't know if it's real or not. The fact that they put him on the list. ML. Well, no, it's different. They're doing it while they investigate. It's like that list that Josh Hill's got put on. It's the same type of list, right? So it's like they're investigating. Right. It's not great. I think it's bad that he got put on the list, and I think it's bad. But it did come out to your point, like, who knows? And nothing has been proven. But I agree, it's bad either way. Like, it's very likely he did it. Who knows? I'm not going to say he did yet until it's official, but it's not looking good for him. I agree. My point is like all you see are like earmuffs, 1, 2, 3. Like, oh, you see fucking jokes about it. Like, it's everyone's like, like Moneyball jokes. Like, oh, his name's Wonder. He hits like a superstar. His only problem is he likes kids. Like, and also it's like, this shit's not funny. Like, this is not funny in any way, shape, or form. This is a 14-year-old girl, a little girl we're talking about. I have a 4-year-old daughter. Like, she's going to be 14 in 10 years. Like, she's going to be a fucking child when she is 14. Like not funny. Like, this is not, let's joke about the guy who slept with the 14-year-old and is going to lose his career and all. And you know what? Good. Go to fucking jail. Like, if it's true. But like, this is not funny. This 14-year-old family is dealing with this. This 14-year-old is dealing with this. Like, this is not in any way, shape, or form. Let's joke about the Rays the first time they signed a guy to a big contract. It's a freaking pedophile. Like, it's not fucking funny. Okay? Yeah. Thank you.
I agree, obviously. I have not seen as many of these jokes. Like this, I guess, like, since I don't follow baseball as closely, maybe I'm not
I
getting
see so many of them. Like,
I mean, obviously it's not something to joke about. I would agree with you on that. I would advise people not to be joking about it.
So that was my final thought. I got aggressive at the end there, but it's driving me crazy because it's the exact same type of thing. And yes, no one died in this case, but still, it's like, it's not funny. It's not funny.
I agree. I would hope no real ones or auto downloaders are making those jokes.
I don't think they are.
I guess one quick final thing. Had a bunch of people reaching out about coming to Dallas. And I saw someone post in the Go Birds Twitter group, which you can find on the top of our Twitter page. Someone that like wants to go, but is looking if someone wants to split a room to lower costs. Like, obviously, I think that's awesome. If two people feel comfortable doing that, want to like split a room, I think that'd be cool. So shout out to everyone that's already committed to coming. A bunch of people on like Instagram have told me they're coming, and Twitter. And frankly, when we did this, like, me and you were like, if we can get 5 people, that would be awesome. Totally. And I think we've already well cleared that. So shout out to everyone that's coming. We're super excited about it. And if you are looking to like split a room and lower costs and all that, hey, you know, it's the real ones and auto downloaders have proven to be good people. So I would feel confident about it.
Totally agree with that. And again, we're going to have Joe from Fans of Philly coming on soon to talk more about the trip. But to Elliot's point, we had shout out to Tim in Alberta, who called the radio show on Saturday and basically was like, yeah, I was going to Seattle with all my buds and now we're just going to Dallas. Like, that made my day. Like, we want more of that. I know Drew in Westchester said he closed all his Seattle browser tabs. He's coming it out. Like, that's the reason we did this. We said it last time. We'll say it again. Like, we're doing this thing out with you. That's it.
So this is not going to surprise you, but I can't remember this guy's name. He came to Parks. He was from Norway. We drove him to the train afterwards.
Charlie, I believe.
Yes, Charlie. Good job by you. And shout out to Charlie. As James knows, I'm bad with names. So no offense that I forgot your name, but he messaged me and he's trying to come. So we have international, Canada, Norway. We got everybody. So it's going to be a very fun weekend when
we are so excited for this, guys. Like, seriously, it's the thing this season I'm most excited about.
Yes.
I can't wait. All right. So we will be back tomorrow at some point to talk about non-practice. But we'll be around tomorrow to react to whatever happened today. And of course, to hear about going to see Messi. You excited?
Oh, yeah, I'm pumped. I mean, look, I do hope they end early, but I've already accepted. Even if I miss the first 15 minutes of the game, I'll see most of it, and I'm just excited to be there. So if anyone's going to be there and going, obviously happy to meet up and say what's up to a real one, but very, very pumped.
Love it. All right, either way, we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, he's James.